Welcome or welcome back to Pewdiepie. I'm Zui and I hope you enjoyed today's video. But before we get right into it, I'm obligated to remind you to click either the like or dislike button, commenting something down below, and of course sharing the video so more people can see and enjoy it. This is very important as it helps with the YouTube algorithm. I want you to know that your help is greatly appreciated. If you have any suggestions or ideas for a story, my Discord link is in my link tree that is down in the description, as well as my Patreon and Ko-fi for any donations you may want to send my way. Every cent counts. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's video. It was finally October. The leaves were slowly turning yellow, cold wind was blowing harshly through the city, and the people who enjoyed summer the most were getting more and more dreary by the day. But it was only in this month your favorite nightclub called Fenrir was having special catering. The place was famous for being neutral ground, meaning heroes were not allowed to threaten or capture any villains who were paying patrons. That of course went the other way around as well. And this truce was respected, simply because of the owner's quirk, called pacifism. As the name suggested, any violent or criminal thoughts, urges, or desires were suppressed in a large radius around him. The nightclub sold specific Halloween-themed drinks and food in October. The most unique thing about it, no pumpkin spices were about to be found. In addition, the club was wonderfully decorated. The ceilings were hung with large cobweb curtains that glowed in the neon light of the building. Picture frames with screens that depicted various Halloween-y stuff covered the walls. But the coolest thing of all was on the stage, as floating right above the DJ was an animated hologram of a decapitated zombie head. Not to mention all those fog machines. Just for this place, for this time of year, you left your place at work 2 hours early. Not that you didn't earn it. You were a pro-hero, working under a widely known hero called Deku. It was hard to get into his agency, but once there you practically won the hero game. All you needed to do at your job was go on patrols, fight bad guys and look good while doing so. And they dealt with everything else, such as publicity, collateral damage, and, of course, you were paid based on difficulty of jobs you were doing while on patrol. You actually had gotten a big bonus for capturing a serial bank robber with an invisibility quirk recently. And you were about to spend all of that on expensive drinks. You entered the club in the usual way, by showing the bouncer your VIP card, having him slap you on your ass for being a regular, and then go inside. The music was blaring. People were dancing, talking, drinking and laughing. However, you didn't really care about that. You beelined to the bar. Luckily, there was still an untaken seat. You smiled at the barkeeper. He was dressed as Jason, and he did have the build for it. The man suffered with a gigantification quirk that, while it did make him look incredibly muscular, was entirely visual, so he remained weak. "Nice costume," he gruffed. You smirked. You had taken great pleasure these past 4 years in dressing up in skimpy versions of popular female heroes' costumes. You were dressed in an incredibly tight Mount Lady suit, with a heart-shaped window showing off your cleavage in its chest. I mean, you gotta dress appropriate, right? I'll take the usual. Witch's challenge coming right up. The Witch's challenge was the reason you were here. It was one of each Halloween-themed drink in one challenging package. Thanks to your quirk, alcohol had barely any effect on you, so mixing as many drinks as possible was the only way you could get drunk properly anyways. By the third drink, your throat felt like it was on fire. While your mind was mostly unaffected, your body still rejected the delicious poison. Next up was your favorite, Witch's Brew. The drink the challenge was named after. It was a mix of melon liquor, orange juice and just a squeeze of lemon juice, topped up with a decorative cherry on a stick and a cube of dry ice for some vapor. You love drinks in neon colors like it, and you were about to put the glass to your lips when the guy next to you gave you a look. Doing the challenge too? He asked. The man had beautiful blue eyes, and half of his skin seemed horribly burned. It had taken you a moment to realize that, yes, that wasn't his costume, because then you noticed the thing he was actually wearing. He wore a headband with wolf ears and a bushy tail stuck to the backside of his belt. His hands were covered in fuzzy gloves. You confidently smiled at him. Well, I wouldn't call it a challenge, more like a normal night out for me. You're a brave one, aren't you? You shrugged. No, just have special needs. Interested, the man placed a hand under his chin as he rested his arm on the bar table. Oh, do tell. You smirked. It wasn't that often guys flirted with you. They just saw the large amount of drinks you could take and then ignored you. With a smirk, you began playing with the rim of your glass. Well, my quirk is called Matter Eater. It allows me to digest anything. Well, imagine it like this. You pointed at your stomach. My stomach is a pocket dimension. Any matter I consume ends up there. So it takes a lot of food, or, you tapped on the glass, a lot of alcohol to really feel any satisfaction. Man, if you just saw my restaurant bills. I see. The man was intrigued. Seemingly. That was rare. Usually people called it gross. In a joking way, but they meant it. And the next chance they got, they would use it to leave. It was hard not to blush right now, seeing how he genuinely seemed interested. You haven't even mentioned the fact that your body was incredibly stretchy and that you could unhinge your jaw like a snake. Name's Dabi, he said. And hearing that, your heart stopped a beat. He was a villain. You remembered your boss' descriptions of him. How violent and brutal he was. But at the same time, him being here, all flirty and drinking the same drinks, it just reminded you that he was just a human too. Thankfully, you managed to keep your composure. And without hesitation, you told him your civilian name. It would probably be unwise to tell him your hero one. And what are you doing here? Outside of drinking, I mean, you asked. He sighed, mostly annoyed. Well, my boss is currently busy with stuff and told me and my affiliates to scram. So I just came to my favorite club to unwind. He smirked. And then my eyes and ears fell upon the first chick I've ever seen who ordered the Witch's Challenge without someone seemingly prompting her. I do find that kinda hot. The Paranormal Liberation Front had been shattered into small splinter cells for a few years now. You wonder if Dabi was with the same one Shigaraki was in, or if someone else had taken the reign of his party. So you needed to keep him entertained. So, Dabi, are you up to spice up the challenge? The man smirked. Usually he would refuse, but he too was at the third drink, and unlike you, he didn't have a pocket dimension in his gut. So he was a little drunk already. I'm listening. Let's make this a drinking game. The one who finishes first gets to keep both victory prizes. The victory prize of the Witch's Challenge was $100, and the option to have a selfie of yourself be put on a wall that proudly showed you as the winner until November 10th, when it was taken down in preparation for the Christmas event 2 weeks afterwards. Dabi only thought for a moment. That's a deal. Immediately you threw the drink into your throat, confident you could match him drink for drink. no matter if you choked. After Witch's Brew came Vampire Kiss. The sweet and savory drink went down surprisingly smooth, despite the high amount of vodka in it. Dabi, however, grimaced. Ugh, too sweet, he complained. Next drink, Corpse Reviver. Incredibly sour. You could practically feel your teeth rot from it. And soon you and the villain reached the final drink. The Frankenstein. This one was the worst. Or best, depending on definition. The Frankenstein was Fenrir's definition of a zombie. Completely alcoholic drinks from the entire bar, all combined. It tasted vile, and was often regarded as the final knockout punch. Dabi was a little wobbly on his seat. Shit, he slurred. You're good at this. Truthfully, you yourself were a little drunk, but still you could handle it. You know, spoke the barkeeper. Not many reach to Frankenstein. It's fine if you give up now. Nobody will hold it against you. At this point in the challenge you and Dabi had set up was all but forgotten. Too much fun was the shared enjoyment of each other's company and the drinks. You know, considering how blackout drunk you look, I would feel bad finishing this. Proudly, you held up your almost empty glass, while Dabi's was still staring at his full one. All of this is too much liquid. I think I'm gonna hurl, he complained. Yeah, sure. Bucket is behind the bar, you said. Dabi's head was feeling empty. Tongue felt swollen, and his throat and stomach, well, they were on fire. Okay, fine. Let's spice it up then. Drink it and you can sleep off the hangover at my place. If you weren't drunk yourself, you would have never suggested that. You blinked in shock when Dabi's drunkenness seemed to be almost gone upon hearing that. Eager, like a child, he grabbed the glass with both hands and downed the Frankenstein in a single go. Shortly after, he fell forward onto the bar with a pleased smile. Well, said the barkeeper. Are you gonna take him with you then? I mean, we have the policy, anybody who blacks out gets thrown out into garbage bins. It's only fair if I carry him, you said with an impressed tone. Quickly you finished your own Frankenstein, received the $200, before throwing the drunk man over your shoulder. With a smirk, you said goodbye to the barkeeper. The walk home took a while, only made worse by the heavy man draped around your shoulders. He grunted. Sorry for this. It's fine. You're lucky I think you're hot. You blushed. Mission accomplished. Can you walk? I can't feel my legs, he admitted. Okay, got it. Rolling your eyes, you continued the trek. After a while, he raised a finger to talk. I think I can walk now. He sighed in response, almost happily. Carefully, you set his feet on the ground. For a moment he wobbled. Then he fell forward right into your arms. Sorry, he said awkwardly. Guess I was just falling for you. 30 minutes later, you finally arrived at your apartment complex. It was close to your agency. Looks good. Your apartment was clean, in a minimalist style, so very white and modern. As you sat down on your sofa, you went to your fridge and threw an ice pack at him for the black eye you had given him after that horrendous pun. Thanks, he muttered. You yourself then sat down next to him. If you weren't so cute, I'd roast you for that, by the way. Oh, really? You said as you reached for his jacket to unbutton it. But then I wouldn't be able to do this anymore. Gently he rubbed over his scarred chest. He groaned, enjoying your touch. Yeah. He leaned against the sofa's armrest now, as you climbed on top of him. He was still pressing the ice pack against his face as he smirked. Spit roasting you would have been the worst case scenario, huh? See what thinking about stuff for 5 seconds does to a man? You said mockingly as you unbuckled his belt. Yeah. I guess you're right.